all about?
You just want a little coffee and a little company.
Mm-hmm. I only have a few minutes, Joe.
I know, and I really appreciate you taking your time to do this. It has never come very easy to me to console somebody, and that's what I have to do with Luke.
To tell them about what?
Bill Watson's death.
Bill Watson is dead?
I'm sorry you didn't know.
No, I didn't see the papers yet this morning.
I wasn't in the papers. They haven't found his body yet.
Joe, if it wasn't in the papers, how do you know about it?
I was at police headquarters on some business for one of my clients today when the phone call came in from Las Vegas. This was Watson's hometown, you know.
What happened to him?
Supposedly a fishing accident.
Supposedly.
You got it.
What are you saying, Joe?
Well, let's just say I have a very sensitive nose, but this thing really smells all the way from Las Vegas.
Why are you telling me about it?
I guess because you happen to know all the people that have been dropping like flies lately, like Ted DeLuca and Roy and Johnny Colby. And
I didn't know Johnny Colby, Joe.
You knew Bill Watson?
So what?
So it's kind of fascinating, like the 10 little Indians that were all killed off one at a time, you know? We know 5 of the Indians that are dead now. Let's you and I get our heads together and figure out who number 6 is going to be.
Incredible, Joe. Has anybody ever told you that?
Not nearly often enough.
Incredibly nervy, just in case you're wondering what I'm referring to.
I've upset you, and I didn't mean to do that. I always thought that you and I got along pretty well together.
I always thought we were friends.
We are.
Then why is it that you never miss an opportunity to turn the knife?
How am I turning the knife?
In case you have forgotten, I was supposed to marry Roy. And you come in here and you toss off his name like he was just another war casualty.
I haven't forgotten, Bobby. But in this little battle that's going on around us, I'm afraid Roy wasn't much more than a casualty. He, or Ted, or John Colby, or Cynthia White, or now Bill Watson.
Okay, Joe, you've made your point.
What point is that?
Why are you here?
To see Luke.
Why?
Because I'm going to give him my condolences.
Oh, because you two are such close, dear friends.
I'd like to think of Luke as a friend, but I don't want to see anything happen to him.
Is that a warning?
Don't you think he needs one?
Oh, Joe, go home, go home.
Lady has a temper, huh?
The lady is sick and tired of your little games. Lately, our friendship has turned into a game of cat and mouse. And I don't care what you may think, but Luke doesn't need any of your warnings. Luke is clean.
Did I ever say he wasn't?
You've hinted at it often enough, yes.
I don't think you understand what I'm saying to you.
I understand.
Your brother's moving up awfully fast in the world, Bobby.
Are you jealous?
No, I'm careful. I'm careful to stay away from people like Frank Smith.
Drop it, Joe.
I can't. You see, I have a curious mind. It's a funny thing that comes in this profession. I just think it's very, very fascinating that Roy DeLuca worked for Smith in this disco. This disco where Ted DeLuca was fingered the day before he was found hanged to death in his own jail cell. And then Mitch Williams, our campaigning senator, who took full credit for the arrest on Ted, is very nearly assassinated. And now Bill Watson is dead from acute fishing on top of Johnny Colby and Cynthia White.
And Frank Smith is the common denominator?
You know it. The waterfront is practically owned by Smith.
Let me tell you something, Joe. It doesn't take a genius to link Frank Smith with practically everybody in this town. So why don't you just hot-foot it right over to General Hospital? He happens to be on the board there, too. Who are you going to give your next warning to? Steve Hardy? Doctor, I am getting angry, and I really don't think we ought to discuss this here. So why don't you go home, and I will tell Luke that Bill Watson is dead, okay?
Bill Watson's dead?
Oh, no.
I know him. Did you say that Bill Watson is dead?
Yeah, that's right, Amy. That's
The one who used to work for Frank Smith?
One and the same.
Gee, he used to come to the disco.
To watch the exercise classes.
What happened? He was so young.
Well, I was just telling Bobby that he died on a fishing trip on Lake Mead.
The body hasn't been found yet.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow.
She used to know him pretty well, didn't you, Laura?
Yes, he used to sit in my station a lot.
It's quite a shock to hear that he's dead, isn't it?
I wish that I could be more sympathetic, but frankly, Mr. Watson always gave me the creeps whenever he came in this place. He gave the creeps to everybody.
Laura!
Bev, your mother's probably tired of waiting for us.
Oh, yeah, we better go. Come on, Amy.
Wait, I want to stay and hear about this, but I have to go to class. Mr. Smith, we were all so sorry to hear about what happened to Mr. Watson.
Mr. Smith and Luke.
Joe. Mr. Kelly.
I'm sure the armbands must be for Bill Watson, huh?
A great personal loss.
I'll bet it was.
His death came as quite a shock.
Yes, I can imagine. Well, I'm very impressed with your gesture. It isn't often you see men these days that have the courage to display their emotions publicly.
Bill was with me for many years.
Very close personal assistant.
Very.
That would explain it then, wouldn't it?
Explain what?
How you'd know about his death before his body has been found.
I must admit, Mr. Kelly, I'm curious as to how you know about Bill Watson's death.
Oh, I was down at the police station working for one of my clients when the phone call came in from Las Vegas.
Oh, and whoever you were seeing there told you about it.
Oh, no. No, I overheard the call, and of course I recognized the name.
And you came straight over to see Luke. That was very thoughtful of you.
Thank you very much. I thought he'd like to know about it.
I called Luke this morning as soon as I heard about it. Fortunately, my associates in Las Vegas knew how close I was to Bill, and they were thoughtful enough to call me immediately.
You must have been stunned.
Bill was like a son to me. It's painful for me to think about it. In fact, you can understand why I don't want to talk about it.
Oh, yes, I can imagine you don't.
Bill would rather we thought about life than about his death. Isn't that so? Don't you agree, Luke?
Oh, yes, sir. Absolutely.
There are so many positive things going on right now.
Must be 1,000 things.
There's the 4th of July picnic and then the wedding, of course. Oh, I'm glad you're here, Joe, because Luke and I were talking about you this morning.
Really?
Yes, in relation to the wedding.
Sir, I think perhaps I should talk to Jennifer about this first.
Oh, nonsense. As the groom, you have a perfect right to choose whomever you please for your best man. What do you say, Joe?
You can't mean me.
Of course we do. You're an absolutely marvelous choice.
You're serious?
Absolutely. In fact, it's all the more perfect because Bobby happens to be the maid of honor, and we know how well the two of you get along. Isn't that right, Bobby?
Oh, yeah, we're a real pair.
Then it's set.
Well, I think maybe you ought to speak to Luke about it. I mean, his wedding.
I'd consider it a great favor, Joe.
Marvelous. Then the last detail is set, and I can put my mind at ease. Luke will tell you where to get the clothes, and we'll let you know if there's a bachelor's party.
I can hardly wait.
Well, it's been very good to see all of you, but I have to make arrangements for Bill Watson's funeral. Oh, by the way, I just remembered, I have the number of the clothes shop in my limo if you're on your way out.
Sure, that'll be fine.
Thanks, Joe.
Yeah.
I suppose you know all about the picnic on the 4th of July for the hospital, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
Nice armband.
Don't start with me, Laura.
Oh, Luke, you gotta be kidding about Joe being the best man.
Mr. Smith didn't sound like he was kidding.
Well, it was his idea.
Joe was out to get you. You know that. You can't have him for your best man.
So who else should I ask? The late waterlogged Billy Watson?
It's not funny.
Well, look, I'm sorry, but there's no one else. There is no one else, unless, of course, Jennifer gets her way and it's Scott Baldwin.
No way.
Well, you see, little sister, nobody left.
Joe wasn't here to offer condolences.
Really?
Joe was here to try and find out who's going to be the next on the hit list. Who is it going to be, Luke?